What's up, guys? Today I was gonna vlog, actually, and I was standing in the middle of a frozen lake in the tundra Arctic winds that is Canada, and I thought, oh, way too cold. I'm staying indoors, so today is a Q&A day. Okay. You guys asked a ton of questions, it's amazing. Actually, I need a proper seat if we're gonna do this, so let me go grab one of those. Camo was the only color they had. I don't know. What's up, guys? Today, we're answering your questions, and holy crap, you guys asked so many, it's amazing. I posted to Instagram, let's see, 4 hours ago, and we have 600 comments. So that's not even counting Twitter. I haven't logged into Twitter. I have a lot on Twitter. So let's pick some questions and just start going with it. Do I start from the top? Do I start from the bottom? Do I start from the middle? There's some completely unrelated things in here. Do you like bananas? Yes. Can you do a handstand? Yes. Okay, let's start with this question from CC with Ray. CC with Ray asks, how did you get into vlogging? Interesting concept, actually. Probably not what you think. I'm kind of like an introvert and I'm an extrovert. Sometimes I love being around big groups of people and hanging out and entertaining and that. Sometimes I just want to be left alone and stay in my room and don't talk to anybody, never go to the door, just straight up aviator hermit. I actually started vlogging, believe it or not, because I wanted to get over that fear of what people thought of me. Sounds funny, right? But holding a camera in public, a big camera, talking to yourself as you're walking through a mall. For me, at the very beginning, I was super self-conscious about that. That kind of thing was like, I can't do it. People are watching, what do they think? Oh, they probably think I'm the biggest, And my wife was like, just do it, who cares? Just start filming. Doesn't matter, you're never gonna see them again. So the reason I started vlogging was to get over that fear of what people thought of me in public when I'm holding a camera in front of my face, was to get comfortable with it. And then it just started kind of snowballing from there. I felt like I've always kind of had a thing for talking to the camera, and I've grown up with cameras in my hands, so it just kind of made sense. Krigo asks, what was your first camera and how old were you? HP R607 digital point and shoot camera was my first personal camera. It's probably about 16 years old, believe it or not. I did not like photography in high school, never took the courses, never went to school for it. I actually had no interest in it. I was actually gifted this camera from my sister for being in her wedding party, and I was going to sell it on eBay, but then I thought, I'll just go buy a memory card and pop it in and just see what happens. Next thing you know, I'm face down in the grass in my backyard trying to take macro shots of the blades, and now we're here. Long story short. Cinderlax asks, do you plan storyboards before shooting or do you just go ahead and film? A little bit of both. Usually I just go ahead and film because I feel like that organic creativity usually just hits me when I need it to the most. However, that's not always the case. It is very important to storyboard stuff and have a rough idea, even if it's just like a quick little roadmap in your head, so you kind of know exactly what you want to get. That always helps, makes you more efficient, makes you faster, time is money. Storyboard, don't listen to me. Storyboard your stuff. I just don't do it. Mario Agro, what color correction do you use? I use the built-in color correction with Premiere Pro. I like it. It's pretty good. It's Oliver Hayes asks, have you ever shot photos and film? Would you possibly do a few videos in the future? If so, yes, I have shot film. I used to shoot in a Contax 645 medium format camera. My favorite film was Fuji Pro 400H. Looked amazing. And you don't know fear until you shoot a wedding entirely on film. Did you get the first kiss? I hope so. Did you get this? I hope so. How does it look? I hope it looks good. Not only that, is then sending that film off to California to get processed, hoping it makes it there, hoping it makes it back. Ooh, now that I think of it, why did I even do that? That's ballsy. Stupid. It was amazing. Honestly, I think any photographer who is up and coming or just super interested in it right now, you have to shoot film at least once in your life or your career. It really makes you think about the images before you take them. The problem with digital these days is we can just snap the hell out of anything. You take 2,000 photos of a bottle of Windex sitting on your windowsill. Random. There's no consequence. With film, you've only got so many photos in a roll, and it really makes you think about what you want to snap before you snap it, which is really, really cool. Try it. Go get a camera that does film. Even if it's a disposable camera or an Instax, just shoot film. Look at this. I'm out of control today. How did you start out? That's a huge question. I wonder how fast I could answer that in the smallest amount of time. First job was at a circus, then I worked at a coffee shop, then I worked at a skateboard shop, then I worked at a golf course, landscaping, worked at a steakhouse, Home Depot, Best Buy, Staples. I had a ton of retail jobs. Then I started working for State Farm. Then I got fired because I went to New York. Then I started working for a camera shop. Then from a camera shop, I took an internship, quit the internship, started working freelance on my own, got picked up by a company that produces magic tricks worldwide. Now I'm doing this. The Rad Ahmed says, how to get money to buy gear? Get a job. That's probably my best recommendation. Get a job and save up. Over time, you accumulate different things, you sell them off, you buy new versions. Sometimes you make a profit, sometimes you lose a little bit, but you gotta start somewhere. Get a job doing whatever it is that you do, save that money, start buying gear, and then you can start using that gear to do small jobs. Those jobs pay a little bit, but it doesn't matter because if you're even getting a little bit of money, you know you're doing it right. So then you start with that and you start building that up. That little bit of money turns into a little bit more money, then suddenly you're like, whoa, I just got $2,000 for this job. And then it goes up and up and up and down and up and it fluctuates, but that money that you're using made from the gear you bought is now going back into gear or whatever else you do. Malachi Thomas, I think, says, what is your main lens? My main lens is the 24mm 1.4 Mark II L version that Canon makes. It's my favorite lens. I love it so much. Like this lens, this lens is money. It's been everywhere. It's been all around the world with me. It's got a great minimum of focusing distance. It's wide, but it's not too wide. It's just a perfect all-around lens for me. It looks magical. The colors are amazing. And I beat this thing to hell. Like I have ripped filters off it. I've filed down the metal on the side. The rubber ring is gone. It's no longer water sealed because it has just been through everything. It's been hit by bullet casings. I've dropped it in the ocean in Maui. A Formula One car almost ran over it. This lens has literally endured everything. So, salutes to the 24mm. Okay, here's a good one. What advice would you give to a new photographer starting out? I touched on this briefly in a couple videos back. My advice for photographers starting out is shoot as much as you can. Shoot during the day, shoot at night, shoot in the morning. Put yourself into as many different situations as you can so that you can see what it's like shooting at night and what's difficult and what's easy about it, or vice versa during the day. Just use your equipment and get out there with friends or by yourself as much as possible. One of the best things about photography is that it can be done on your own. You don't need a group of people to do it. You don't need anyone else to do it. You only need yourself. So you can go out, you can just chill, take a nice afternoon, relax, go out into the wilderness, go out for a hike, go out wherever you want to go. You can go anywhere. Bust out your camera and just start taking photos. That's the best advice I can give, is just start. Does eating pizza make you a better filmmaker? You know what? Actually, yes, it does. Now that you said that, I need a pizza. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great night.
Okay. Gabe Donovan, I live in Michigan. I'm planning on going to school for engineering. Should I go to the University of Toronto? I don't know anything about engineering. Horrible person to ask. Jared Schiffman, what drone do you use? Where did you get it? I use the Mavic Pro. I bought it on their website. I used to use the Phantom. It was just too big for me. I had to bring a backpack around, and then it was just like, it's just huge. This, super small. Just toss it in my camera bag. It's there when I need it. And if I don't need it, it doesn't take a big footprint, so I don't really care. So that drone, woo, that's the future right there. Chef in Ras, these usernames are hard to pronounce. Love your stuff, thank you. Wondering if you ever think of doing some collaborations. Yes, I'm open to collaborations. I think collaborating with other artists is one of the best ways to grow. Other people think differently than you think, and when you get two creative people that think differently in the same room trying to come up with something together, that is a winning recipe. So collaborate with your friends, work with other people as much as you can, because it's only better for you, it's only gonna help you, it's only gonna inspire you. So yes, collaborations, feeling it. This is a good one. Ryan Christensen, 12. What type of jobs did you start out doing when you first got into photography? They weren't the most exciting jobs, I'll be honest. I think I was taking shots of some jewelry for some guy that owned a shop downtown, a couple photo shoots for just local artists, really, really cheap. I honestly got into shooting weddings really, really early on because I saw that's where it was a bigger event that I could cover multiple things without just having to find small jobs. I could just do one bigger job and do more of those instead of all the little jobs. So I started weddings actually pretty early on. How old are you? I am. What gave you the unrelenting courage to pursue your dreams? That's a great question from Jay Merck. Honestly, I've always kind of been anti-establishment. I think that's part of it. I've never really liked school. I've never enjoyed jobs working under someone else. I've never enjoyed the retail jobs growing up that I had. I never liked it when people told me this was the way something was to be done if I wanted to do it a different way. I didn't like the idea of, no, these are the rules say that you do this. I've never been a fan of that. I've always wanted to be like, well, these are my rules and I think it should be done this way. And I want to be allowed to do that. It's a little bit of like a problem with authority almost. Not to the fact that I'm disrespectful, but I've always wanted to just do things my way. So I think inherently having that inside has just made me work harder to escape and shake free all of the chains of having to work for a corporation or having to work for a company or someone else. I've just always wanted to go off on my own and be able to make it myself and sustain myself. So that drive has always been so strong that that's the goal. I'm constantly working towards that. How do I get there? And then once I'm there, how do I stay there? Raja Tagupta 00. We could just oh my goodness. These usernames. Is an expensive camera required to take good pictures? No. It's in the subject matter. I say this all the time, it's in the story you're trying to convey. It's in the lighting, it's in the mood, it's in your brain. You don't need a huge expensive camera to tell your message. You just gotta tell it. I've said it before, the best equipment is the equipment you have right now. Does an expensive camera help that? Absolutely. But do you need? That's the key there in that question. Is it required to take good photos? No, it is not required. How did you break into the industry and did you study anything related to what you're doing now? From Flan Jack. No, I never went to school for photography, I never went to school for cinematography. Actually, I kind of discovered my real raw talent for cinematography and photography when I was in college for something completely different. And that's when I dropped out to pursue what it is that I'm doing now. I realized early on that this is my true passion and true love, and this is what I need to follow versus what I was doing. Corey Dolly asks, do you think it's a smart idea to not go to college and just start working and saving money for camera gear and traveling? Very good question. I'm not sitting here condoning anyone not to go to school. I think any sort of education is beneficial. It's always good to be educated, be it that through school or YouTube or through something else. Do I think going to school for photography and cinematography is needed? My answer, no. I do not think it is. I think some people have it, some people don't. But the people that don't, it can be learned. Can it be learned online? Yes. But the best way for me to learn it is through doing it. I can't really sit in a classroom personally and listen to someone talk about taking photos. I need to be out there taking photos. I need to make those mistakes. I need to get those wins for myself in order to know what my capabilities, what my limits are. I don't feel that it is within my best interest or my time, worth my time, to be sitting in a classroom listening to someone tell me about how I should shoot. That might go back to my anti-establishment kind of thing. Do I think that you should go to school or you should go to school for cinematography or photography? Only you can answer that. My suggestion would be maybe to take like 6 months off and just try it. Just try to be a photographer, try to do what you love and see where you can get in a certain amount of time. Give yourself a date. If you don't get to X by this date where you want to be, then maybe go back and look at going to school for it. But if you do get to there, and if you do excel past there, then hey, now we're in a whole different ballgame. Can you be my dad? No. Alex Pasquale. Alex. What are the odds that I can become a big film director? It's up to you, man. How bad do you want it? Go get it. This is a great question here. Paula Blue says, what should we take into consideration when it comes to pricing? Is there a standard quantity we're supposed to charge? That's a really interesting question. I think, firstly, look at the service that you're offering. Only you know how good you are with photography, and only you know how long it takes you to do something. So what would you be comfortable with paying someone with your skill sets? If you're thinking of charging this guy $1,000 for some portraits, and you think to yourself, I would never pay $1,000 for portraits personally, then maybe that's not the right price to charge. I also think there's something to be said in the fact that people don't charge enough. A lot of people are like, I don't think I'm worth it, but you gotta remember, you're the one with the skill sets. You've paid for that equipment. You've put the time into that skill, that craft. You're the one who's been out there on weekends, on weeknights, overnights, in the morning, spending your time learning this art form. You're the one doing that. That's worth something. All of those photo shoots you go on, all of those failed attempts, all of those bad photos, all of that stuff accumulates into your overall worth. And that can't be forgotten when you're thinking about charging someone for photos, because it all matters. Robert Rayhart says, when you got fired from your State Farm job and went full-time into your passion, how could you afford to live? Well, when you don't have any other options and it is either do or die, you do, and you work hard, and there is no alternative. You don't even think about how can I afford, you just afford to live. You make it happen. You go out, you cold call, you knock on doors, you collaborate, you put yourself out there, you start shooting every day, day to night, you put in the time. There is no other option, there's no other avenue, it is just forward. And when you have that mindset, especially when you get fired from a job or you don't have anything else to fall back on, it is either going to work for you or it is not. And if the not is not an option, then you can only succeed. Totally not photo or video related question. What are your 5 favorite things about Canada? The people, the landscape, food, diversity, acceptance. Thank you to everybody that wrote a question on Instagram, on Twitter. We got over like 700 questions. So thank you so much. If I didn't get to your question today, hopefully in future Q&As, I will get to it. A lot of them seem to kind of repeat themselves, so I tried to just skip through what I thought would be interesting or what you guys would like. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, all that nonsense. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today on this cold Sunday afternoon, and I will see you guys in the next video.